All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I am out with my family right now, and this is the best setup that I have to offer. So sorry that my pretty face is not on camera, but we're all going to have to make do. There is a tremendous amount of news to cover in this video, ranging from things that are happening on the global stage, things that are happening specifically in the UK, how that's translating to Canada, the future of Canada, and then also a lot of things happening here in Canada as well. And it seems like Justin Trudeau is inching his way closer to coming out as Canada's first ever gay prime minister. So I highly recommend you guys stick around for the full video so you don't miss a single beat. Now, I have the screen pulled up here of the polls, which is how we normally start these videos. So the Conservatives are still sitting very, very good at 212 projected seats. Justin Trudeau has fallen down. No matter what he does, no matter what he says, no matter what kind of bullcrap campaign he tries to push, he is dropping like a hot potato. He was at 74, 73 projected seats. Now he's down to 69. And chances are he's going to keep dropping, and the House of Commons, or House of Canada, I like to call it, is right around the corner. We're a month and a little bit away, and when that picks up, he will be having to debate Pierre Poilievre, and that never is good for him. Justin Trudeau is a crappy debater, and Pierre just walks circles around him. But that's for another day. Let's just get into the meat and potatoes of this video, shall we? So here's what's going on in Bangladesh. There was a coup. Prime Minister Hasina was overthrown, and he has just taken off. And this is going absolutely viral. You have millions of people in Bangladesh taking to the streets and just overthrowing the government. The prime minister has gotten in a helicopter. Actually, there was videos of him getting in a helicopter and flying away as fast as he possibly can to get away, because they are even in their parliament. I mean, the prime minister's palace has been stormed, which is insane. They're eating food right from the prime minister's palace, bragging about it. It's going very, very viral. But there are so many things across the world that are also happening simultaneously that really isn't the center of the news, nor is the center of this video. This is also making its rounds across social media. Iraq's parliament has voted today, and they've taken the first steps to lower the legal age of marriage for girls from 15 years old to a whopping disgusting 9 years of age. The new personal status law being discussed is based on Sharia law. That is not tolerable. That's absolutely disgusting. And this is what Canadians could potentially face, and the West could potentially face, if we keep allow this type of invasion happening here in the West of the world. Next up, I'm sure that everyone is already aware, we are moments away from World War III happening. The stock market tanked the other day. We're going to be taking a look at that in a moment. But Israel and Iran have pretty much made it clear to everybody that they are officially going to war. You're going to see rockets flying. Iran has come out for the first time ever saying that they actually have nuclear weapons. They are allies with Russia. They are allies with North Korea and India. They have access to a lot of technology, a lot of ballistic missiles, and it's going to be tremendously devastating what's going to happen. America has already launched a bunch of vessels to the coast of Israel to either supply Israel with more weapons or to provide some sort of defense, but shit will hit the fan very, very soon. Now, what does that look like for here in Canada, in North America? It means prepare yourself. Get ready to have, extra food, extra supplies, because if this does disrupt the supply chain, then you will be left by yourself, and the government is not coming for you. They're not going to bring you food. They're not going to bring you water. You have to be self-sufficient and rely on yourself. So that's what I would recommend. Get your camping gear readily available, because you might need it. Rocket alerts are now both in southwestern Israel, near Gaza, and northeastern Israel. So it already has started. This is a couple of days ago, and it's only picked up since then. Justin Trudeau is one of the last people to evacuate diplomats from Israel. Everybody has already left because of the warnings. Everybody has already left Lebanon because of the warnings. China has warned all of its citizens to leave Lebanon if there are any people. Russia has done the same. Iran has also issued warnings for everyone to leave Lebanon. So it's crazy. It's crazy that Canada is behind the times, but that is Justin Trudeau for you. And while the stock market crashed, coincidentally, all of these U.S. military industrial complex stocks went up. They went up tremendously, 20%. Right when the stock market, the United States stock market crashed, the Japanese stock market crashed, they all skyrocketed at the exact same time. But I'm just sure that's a coincidence, right? Yeah, I don't think anyone is buying that. Next up in the news, we have what's happening with the UK. So the UK Prime Minister is facing a massive dilemma right now. There is a whole bunch of protests that are happening in the UK. It started with where the straw that broke the camel's back was immigrants that had killed and murdered, I think it's 3 British girls in cold blood, and that was just the last straw for British people. The Brits did not want to see that anymore. They said, you know what, we're taking to the streets and we're going to go and protest immigrants. We don't want immigrants here. They need to go back. Britain, the UK is for British people. And to be honest, a lot of people, even in the West, are feeling that way. A lot of Americans are absolutely fed up with the immigration laws, and certainly here in Canada as well. But it hasn't reached this point yet. And so what's happened is there's just so many people in the streets. There's so much happening. There's so much rioting against the police that the UK Prime Minister has said that anyone who's posting things online is going to jail, which is wild because immigrants who have caused mass amount of crime and murders and theft and broken so many laws, they seem to be just doing absolutely fine. There's no threats to them at all. It's all threats to UK patriots. As you can see in this video, Muslim immigrants chant Allah Akbar in the streets while many are armed with knives and machetes. But yes, sure, anyone who posts anything online, they should go to jail, not thugs in the streets by the thousands. Like, these people are looking to intimidate. These people are looking to potentially cause harm, kill people. Like, why do you need that many people masked up and armed? That just doesn't make any sense. That is not peaceful. It doesn't lay the groundwork for it ever being peaceful. And now Canada updates UK travel advisory due to all the violent clashes between the police and protesters, which is insane. So all of the protesters in this photo freeze frame right here, these are all British people. These are all people from the UK that are saying, look, we need to send people back. We need to deport people. And as you can see in the comments, the top comment is here, but not because of the stabbings and the rapings. That's okay. You can travel to the UK when those things are happening. But when British people stand up and say, look, enough immigration, stop it now, please send the people back, there's too much crime, there's too much violence, that's when the police get involved and say, no, that's not, you can't say that, that's not diverse, equity, and inclusion. Absolutely not. And speaking of DEI, Pride in Vancouver just happened, which is kind of crazy because they had all of July to do their Pride Parade, but no, Vancouver is special. They identify as being very special, and they waited till August. And there is surprise guest appearance by Justin Trudeau. But what's so interesting about this Pride Parade is every single school board is dominated by the left here in Canada. These are all school boards that are taking part in the Pride Parade, which is very, very bizarre because school is supposed to be for children. School is not supposed to be to indoctrinate kids and to teach them about gender ideologies and gender identity. School is to teach them about science, math, history, English, French, and so on and so forth. Not about how you can identify and be anything that you want to identify as. That is called grooming and indoctrination. But that seems to be the status quo here in Canada, which is why these posts get so much attention, because people are fed up with it. People are sick and tired of this. Look, you want to be proud of your sexuality, you want to be proud of it, you want to be proud that you sleep with the same sex as an adult, sure, but pushing that agenda and making that okay for kids, that is where a lot of people have an issue, where there's a lot of resistance that is met, because that's just not okay, teaching and pushing that type of agenda on children. And of course, Justin Trudeau made his appearance there because, again, he is potentially the first ever, not openly gay, not yet, but I do think that he will come out of the closet the closer we get to the election, and he's going to really lean into that because, I mean, everyone knows the way he sits, the way he talks, his mannerisms, who he is as a person. It's not me saying it. These are rumors that are circulating and everyone believes it. And I mean, it is what it is, folks. Justin Trudeau could very well be the first gay prime minister of Canada.
Thank you so much.
He loves to go. He goes every single year. He bounces around between Toronto and Vancouver. And of course, this year he made his way into the Vancouver one. And then you have also Justin Trudeau, same day, saying trans rights are humans' rights. We have to keep fighting for a country where trans people can be themselves without fear. Their lives depend on it. No, that's not the right pronouns, Mr. Trudeau. It's them. It's they or them. Them lives depend on it. Or the people's lives depend on it, because that, assuming that it's they or their, that is misgendering right out the gate. So that's not very thoughtful, Mr. Justin Trudeau. And then when we look at the top comments here, you see, my rights don't end where a man's insecurities begin. Women's rights now. And then you have Billboard Chris also saying, your fear-mongering as though kids are going to die is disgusting and has no basis in reality. How about we let kids grow up with healthy bodies intact? And this is where a lot of people really draw the line, is pushing this ideology onto children. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And now, bringing things a little bit out of Vancouver and towards the center of Canada, such as in Toronto, you have... No, wait, this is Gaza. Sorry. Oh, no, wait, look. It's actually not Gaza. It's Toronto. These are pro-Palestine protesters that have taken over Toronto. So sitting on bridges, leaning over bridges and overpasses, launching smoke grenades in the air. Peaceful assembly. Is this considered peaceful assembly? I mean, I guess the Canadian government considers it a peaceful assembly, but any other protest that has predominantly white people waving Canadian flags, that's not peaceful. That's really bad. Look, you can't even see the air. It's all through the smoke grenades and stuff like that. That's absolutely insane. And you have one of the top comments here that says, "This isn't my Canada. They don't represent my views. They them have obviously no intent to assimilate or adapt." Then you have to question, why are they them here? And that's exactly what most Canadians are thinking right now, is how the hell did this happen? Why are we almost being overthrown by these other countries' people? Canada does not seem like Canada anymore. It feels like there's a bit of an invasion happening that is not only allowed by our government, but it's supported by our government. And a lot of people are turning their heads going, oh my goodness, is Canada ever going to go back to being the Canada that we once knew? Bring it back 10 years, 2014, bring it back 20 years, 2004. Canada was wonderful. I mean, compared to what it is now. In the future, is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better? That's the golden question. But the most important thing is that it's never going to get better under this liberal regime. That is for sure. You have protesters block Queen's Street for speeches. The movement is described as grassroots by the community and for the community.
What have we done thus far in this movement? We are all a part of the greater collective. The greater collective that when we
So the top comment right here, let's take a look at this. This is anything but grassroots. International funding and organizers from Iran have been exposed on multiple occasions. Canadians have been paying to police this for 43 weeks and counting. The Freedom Convoy was 4 weeks. How long do we have to pay for this? And for those that might not know this piece of information, it has so far costed over $20 or $30 million alone in the city of Toronto for all of these pro-Palestine protesters, because every time they do these protests, you have a tremendous amount of police and security that needs to be there to try and keep the peace, and that is just draining Toronto's money. But hey, Toronto loves to spend money. In fact, Canada loves to spend money. You have Concerned Canadian on X saying, "This isn't my Canada." All of this brought to you by Justin Trudeau and his misguided mass immigration and culture enrichment plans. This is just so bizarre for this still to be going on, and there does not seem to be any signs of relief, of change. It feels like this is going to continue. The momentum is there, and there hasn't been any sort of disavowing this from the government. The government has not come out and said these shouldn't continue. In fact, the government has allowed these to continue, and so therefore it just seems like this is going to continue for a very long time. There's about 120 mosques in Toronto. Why are they praying in the middle of the street? I mean, if you just woke up in this condo or in this building and you looked out the window and you saw that, you would not know that you were, let alone in Toronto. I would go out and say even Canada. It is very, very bizarre. And the top comment here says, "This is not prayer. This is a demonstration of dominance and power." Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with that statement. Here is another video clip of downtown Toronto.
Viva, viva Gaza! Viva, viva Gaza! Viva, viva Gaza! Viva, viva Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina!
Toronto came out again. 300 days. We won't stop. Can't stop. Humanity will prevail. We're out here.
One solution. There is only one solution. Intifada revolution. Intifada revolution.
All right. So the top comment here by Yukon Strong say, "Gonna be funny to see them in minus 20 winter. Will they start a fire to keep warm? What else will they do? What will the government do?" And that's a very good point. We're gonna have to wait and see how that looks in the winter time. But just a reminder, folks, today, as of filming this, it is August 7th. And the attacks from Hamas in Israel happened October 7th, 2023. We are 10 months into these protests since the horrible attacks from Hamas on Israel that shocked the world, that have disrupted the world. And that's just crazy to see that these protests have been, because they immediately started within the first 30 days, if I'm not mistaken, around the world, these pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas, whatever you want to call them, protests. So let me know what you guys think, if they are going to continue or if they will slow down, or are they going to just blast through that 1 year mark. Things did pick up a little bit here. Rebel News, you have Ezra Levant, who showed up to one of the pro-Palestine protests and had a bit of an interview, a bit of a one-on-one chat here with one of the leaders of Canada's chaos gangs, as he likes to call it, and they discuss Ezra Levant's truck that he had, his billboard truck that he drove around Toronto. Let's take a look at this clip.
The 2 years you're about to face in prison when you get actually charged with your truck.
With what?
Super racist.
With a truck that you actually put up out there, with the one that you own.
And what do you think's wrong with the truck?
And that you're facing 2 years of imprisonment.
Will I find out what's going to happen to me in the truck?
Yeah,
You'll find out, big boy. We'll find out.
Do you like the truck?
What about the truck?
Do you like it?
Why would I like it when it's all about hate and it's a target in Islamophobia?
Like, what was on it that you didn't like?
Why would I have to give in to your...
I don't think you know.
I was there. I saw it.
What did you see?
I saw that you guys were targeting Islamophobia.
Wait, just tell me what you saw. I don't think you actually saw it.
I was there.
You were where?
Yeah. What about it?
Where? You were where? What are you even
What do
talking?
I do with these questions?
I think you're just so stupid.
I want to say, well, I appreciate that.
Oh my goodness, I think you are just so stupid. Things somehow remained calm during this little exchange, but this is only the teaser clip. It seems like there's going to be a long form version of this where they talk about more things. So I guess stay tuned to see that. Next up, we have Danielle Smith, who actually has something to say about immigration. Let's take a look at what she's going to say.
The overall numbers of immigration are determined by the federal government. And I would say that we have the ability, based on what I've seen with our housing starts, they've increased 56% year over year. We have the ability to build 40,000 homes this year, which should be able to accommodate about 100,000 people, which is amazing. But we did have 200,000 people join us last year. And I think you're seeing the premiers all asking the same thing of the federal government is, number one, we've got to match the pace of newcomers with the pace of being able to build housing, build schools, provide healthcare. And right now there's a mismatch. I think the government's realized that on international students, but that's one of the things that you'll see all of the premiers saying is that we've got to get a better balance here. And then in addition to that, if there are a large number of people coming in who require supports, the federal government has to help with those supports. That was the point that François Legault had made about other provinces being able to manage that share of the burden. Alberta is already receiving 22% of the newcomers, even though we're only 12% of the population. So we find ourselves in the same position as Premier Legault, and we think that the federal government should be fair in how they're helping to support provinces dealing with that.
A lot of people have been criticizing Danielle Smith and Pierre Poilievre for that matter because what a lot of Canadians, dare I even say majority of Canadians, want is to pause immigration. They want to pause it, just stop it for now so we can get Canada back on track. But Danielle Smith and Pierre Poilievre, they seem to just be a little bit wishy-washy and not conclusive with their wording, where they say it's not reflecting. Immigration isn't reflecting our infrastructure. And so just let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I think that if Danielle Smith and Pierre Poilievre and other conservative leaders come out and say, look, targeted immigration isn't a bad thing. And I grew up with that knowledge, and I still firmly believe that. I believe that targeted immigration has its benefits. However, right now, Canada's full. Canada is way too full. We have quite a bit of work to do to grow our infrastructure, get our housing back on track, right? Fix a lot of policies and then open up immigration again. And I think a lot of people really, really want to hear that. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Is that sufficient from Premier Danielle Smith, or do you want her and Pierre to say something a little bit more? Next up, we have Andrew Shear, who he's talking about the terror attacks that could have happened, but that CSIS and the RCMP blocked from happening. How did these people get in? They were actually in a video with ISIS. They were in an official ISIS video, yet somehow after they appeared in that ISIS video, these father and son were brought into Canada. They got through our borders legally. They were welcomed into Canada, which really begs the question, what the hell is going on in Canada? This is why we need to just pause everything. Pause immigration, really, really start increasing our background checks and make sure that we're bringing in quality people, not father and son terrorists. This is insane that this ever happened to begin with. But let's take a look at the video here.
Last week, Canadians were shocked and horrified to find out of a terrorist plot planned by a father and son who appear to have links to ISIS. Evidence exists that The father was involved in a horrific torture attack in an ISIS video. Shortly after the events in the video, this individual was admitted into Canada and later was granted citizenship by the Trudeau government. This is a colossal failure of Trudeau's national security system. Canadians have a right to know what went wrong. How did this individual gain entry into Canada and obtain Canadian citizenship? Canadians also have a right to know if there are anybody else, if there's anyone else in Canada with similar backgrounds who are granted entry into our country. My colleague, Frank Caputo, the acting public safety critic for the Conservative Party, has written a letter to Dominic LeBlanc, Minister of Public Safety, demanding that the details surrounding this foiled terrorist plot be made public so that Canadians can get answers. So today, Conservatives are calling on the Bloc and NDP to support our efforts to recall the Public Safety Committee so that we can investigate all the aspects of this disturbing and shocking event.
What do you guys think about this? Do you agree with Andrew Shear? Should Canada start taking things a little bit more seriously? It really feels like Canada has dropped the ball on so many different things that we're just letting anybody and everybody in here for the sake of increasing our numbers and not really caring for our security or for Canada's citizens. It is very frustrating. That's why people are not only fed up with the Liberal government, they're fed up with all of these policies. They're fed up with the constant failures of this government. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, that is where we're going to end this video. On your way out, I would like to encourage you guys to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It does really help grow the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.